Tashidelek, as Tibetans continue to preserve their history and identity in exile, cultural exhibitions play a vital role in educating both the Tibetan diaspora and the wider world. The ongoing Tibet Museum traveling exhibition in the United States is a significant initiative bringing Tibet's history, culture and struggle to audiences across New York and the Midwest. Organized as a part of the Year of Compassion to honor His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday, this exhibition serves as a bridge between generations and communities. To discuss its impact and significance, we are joined today by Tenzin Topten, the director of Tibet Museum from Madison, Wisconsin, United States. Welcome to our program, Topten La.
Tashle, thank you so much for having me here.
So good to have you back on our program, Topten La. So I'd like to begin by asking you this. Can you start by giving us an overview of the Tibet Museum's traveling exhibition? What themes and stories are being presented, and why was the United States, particularly New York and the Midwest, chosen as the destination for this tour?
Tashle, everyone, and thank you for asking this question, because this gives me opportunity to talk a little bit about the how the Tibet Museum was formed. So the Tibet Museum, which is the one of the information the section which falls under the Department of Information and International Relations, was earlier conceptualized in year 1998, and after a couple of the discussion and review, on 30th April on 2000, His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama inaugurated the Tibet Museum, and by 2022 we expanded our the museum from the earlier to Tibet Museum, which was right at the vicinity of His Holiness Dalai Lama's temple, towards the to the Central Tibetan Administration in Kangchen Kishong, where it was much bigger and better, and also it consists of the Tibetan history and introduction as well. So the key principle or the key ethos of the Tibet Museum were primarily the connection, collection and conservation. This traveling exhibition that we are doing right now falls under the the connection, the section, or the connection, the vertical of the Tibet Museum functioning, and right now the traveling exhibition that we brought here in the North America, particularly the New York and the Midwest, consists of the photographic panels of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the sign of the independence. So the photographic panels that we brought here primarily talks about the biography of His Holiness Dalai Lama and the sign of independence. And then we also brought some of the artifacts which will be important, particularly for our younger generation who have never seen Tibet, who are like third generation growing up in exile. So for them, this artifact holds a very dear experience to their fatherland. And thirdly, we also brought series of documentary movies, which shows about the history and the current situation inside Tibet, and to answer about why we choose New York and the Midwest, primarily because of the proximity and the population. Proximity here, it means the accessibility, or because we have very limited time, and in this very limited time we have to be very effective. So the New York was of course one of the largest Tibetan population, and it is being a largest Tibetan population settling in the New York, so we choose to host our exhibition first in New York, and then the Minnesota, which is the second largest, and then we went to Minnesota, and from there, of course, Madison and Chicago are always very nearby. So that's how we choose this the three state as of now, and we have to be back before the the upcoming parliament session will be proceed.
So this exhibition is part of the Year of Compassion initiative marking His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday this year. So how does the exhibition reflect His Holiness' vision, and what message do you hope visitors, both Tibetans and non-Tibetans, take away from this exhibition?
So, as I already said, we brought primarily two photographic exhibition. One is on the life and legacy of His Holiness Dalai Lama, which is primarily subdivided into five main categories. First one is early life and responsibilities, and then followed by, His Holiness Dalai Lama meeting with the world leaders, and thirdly on the books that His Holiness Dalai Lama authored and co-authored, and then followed by His Holiness Dalai Lama's awards and accolades. And there are many awards that he won, but two of the main were Nobel Peace Prize and the Congressional Gold Medal. And the most important is the fifth one, which is I should say, the heart of entire exhibition, which is the four main commitment of His Holiness Dalai Lama. And we reiterate his life and legacy through these four key principle commitment of His Holiness Dalai Lama. One is the promotion of human value. Second one is the interreligious harmony. Third one is the preservation of Tibetan Buddhist culture and the environment. And the fourth one is revival of ancient Indian knowledge.
And what has the response been like from the Tibetan diaspora and broader American public? You've also visited the universities and meeting students and museums. So have there been any moments or feedback that stood out to you during this tour?
Of course, as I've touched a little bit on my previous question, that the overall experience is humongous, and there was a strong engagement from the Tibetan diaspora and positive reception from the American public as well. So we have already, in terms of quantity, we have already touched base more than 1,000 Tibetan and non-Tibetan, and the final leg in the Chicago is still yet to be embraced. So we are expected to touch more Tibetan, non-Tibetan in Chicago as well. So a few of the moments that really kicked me, or that was really striking, is one from the McAllister College in Minnesota. Yes. So there was a professor who is Chinese descendant. When I was touring her the exhibition, at the end her eyes were full of tears, because for her, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has helped her life, because earlier she had this depression problem, and when she were going through this period of depression, she come across His Holiness Dalai Lama book, The Art of Living. So the when she read that book, she told me, as soon as I completed the book, whenever she goes out, she have this positive vibe across herself. So that's how the message of His Holiness Dalai Lama become universal in nature. And that was one of the very, I should say, encouraging moment for us, because when we were explaining to audiences like Professor Hu, the responses were very human way. So that was one. And the second was whenever I see Tibetan parents holding their kids, and they themselves explain the life and legacy of His Holiness Dalai Lama. They themselves explain to the children, or to their younger generation, about the in the history of Tibet. It was one of the, because sometime for the parents, they need this kind of exhibition to talk about their culture heritage. They need this kind of exhibition to talk about the sign of independence, and to talk about their identity. And last but not the least, when we did an exhibition in this Center for Healthy Minds in Wisconsin university, this was very encouraging because they have throw a dinner gala to the Tibetan community, and Tibetan around 200 Tibetan have participated in this dinner gala, and we were exchanging. So for the Tibetan, this is the first time that they make this connection with the Center for Healthy Minds and the Tibetan community. So I'm grateful that the Tibet Museum is able to abridge this relation, and I hope this relation will go further down the lane. And For me, this moment is very important because His Holiness always says, if you really want to the preserve and promote our rich culture heritage, we have to be rational. We have to be logical. And Center for Healthy Mind is one of the international institution which for last 25 years, more than 25 years, have been working on you know working on the I should say map of mind, the hygiene of emotion. So I think these are the key moments which really struck me.
So, Toptenla, looking beyond this exhibition, what role does the Tibet Museum play in ensuring Tibet's history and struggle are remembered and shared globally? Are there any plans to expand such exhibitions to other regions or countries in the future?
I always say, our museum is unique because the Tibet Museum in the Tibetan, the government in exile, is the only museum on Tibet uh, which talks about the people's the experiences. So we have so many museums in Tibet, in Lhasa, and across the three provinces of Tibet. But and they have all the big artifacts, like 1,000 years old artifacts. But what they are lacking is the true narrative, the people's narrative. So we, the Tibet Museum in Dharamsala, we always try to value that the Tibetan narrative, which can help in giving the world the true history, the true heritage of Tibet. So in that regard, I think the Tibet Museum is in very early stage, but of course we need a lot of community participation. Particularly the Tibetan diaspora, which is spread across 27 different countries. We need more, the artifacts which they can donate us, which they think it could be of help for the struggle of Tibetan cause. Please come up and be the part of the Tibet Museum, because through the community participation and engagement, we can strengthen this museum as a national archive center. And of course, for the plan for expansion of the museum in the future, for the upcoming 90th birthday of His Holiness Dalai Lama, we are already, curating more the exhibition. So once that is done, and we have the, formal inauguration of the 90th birthday celebration here back in, Dharamsala at the His Holiness Dalai Lama temple. I think we will have series of traveling exhibition, which could be domestic as well as international.
Toptenla, these are my questions. Thank you so much for joining us today from Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, USA. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I hope we are continuously trying to build relation between the Tibetan community and the Tibetan government in exile. Thank you so much.
Yes, so with this, we have come to the end of today's program of In Conversation with Tibet TV. Thank you so much for watching.